Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Ball and Chain. It's Monday, the 22nd of September, and we've got a lot to go through. We've got all the weekend's action from the Premier League, Championship, League 1 and 2 to summarise. We've also got to look forward to an exciting week of more cup action, plus Europa League qualifying as well. And the group stages, so lots to look forward to. I'm back on football. We've then got the crypto market, which this morning has done nothing short of dump, and we've had a billion in liquidations from about 9 a.m. UK time this morning. And it looks to be continually fragile at the moment, so we'll see what happens as the US comes online. So lots to get through, drama at both sides of the ball and chain today. So let's walk you through it and grab a drink and let's enjoy the rest of the show. Hey everyone, welcome to the football section of Ball and Chain. So what we're going to do, we're going to review the Premiership, Championship, League 1, League 2, fixtures and tables that happened over the weekend. Then we'll move on to the League Cup next round, and we'll also look at, Carabao Cup, EFL Cup, whatever it's called today. And then we'll move to the UEFA Champions League. The Europa League. Again, always changing names, aren't they, messing with it? But the Europa League, and we'll come back to that. But let's take a little look at what happened over the weekend. As you can see today, I'm using a new format, just simply because I think this is a lot cleaner, and the structure that I had last time, we used BBC Sport, is far better. And it's a lot easier to see on screen, so we're going with that. So in the very, very late kickoff, Fulham provided a gallant comeback against Brentford. They were 1-0 down. They came back to win 3-1. And fantastic second goal and well-worked move between Iwobi and Harry Wilson to secure the win for Fulham. The 5:30 kickoff produced a lot of drama between Manchester United and Chelsea, with Sanchez getting sent off in the early minutes. And then Manchester United going on to win the game. They went 2-0 up. Chelsea pulled one back through Chalobah quite late on, but unfortunately it wasn't enough for Chelsea to get the points, and Man U got a much needed win in a very competitive fixture. One could say it was must win for Almiron. Who knows? But will Manchester United kick on? How will Chelsea react in their next game at the weekend? Let me know in the comments. Leeds got a very good win against Wolves. Wolves struggling at the moment. Very good. Again, I think it was a comeback from Leeds. Great free kick. I think it was from Stack, who equalised for and then set up Calvert-Lewin, I think it was, for the second. So great result for Leeds on the road. West Ham continue to be in plight this campaign. A goal from Bowen wasn't enough. He equalised, but Palace came back with a great strike from Tyreek Mitchell to give them a 2-1 victory. Burnley versus Forest was a 1-1 draw, with Forest taking lead and then Burnley equalising to play out a 1-1 draw. Great point actually for Burnley. Forest were on fantastic form last season, so for Burnley to get a point and continue putting points on board was excellent for them. Continues their strong defensive record. Yes, they did concede, but they are being very tight. They travel to Manchester City at the weekend. Be interested to see if they can continue their excellent defensive record, or whether Haaland will continue his fine form against them. Brighton and Tottenham Hotspur was a 2-2 draw. Very entertaining game. Games with Brighton tend to have goals, don't they? I had this on my both teams to score pick, and it came in pretty easily, pretty early on. Brighton taking a surprise 2-0 lead, but then, or maybe not actually, it's Brighton, isn't it? They're a decent team, and Herzog, the manager's got them playing very well. 2 goals from Richarlison. A goal from Richarlison, and I can't remember who got the second one, but an equaliser for Spurs, and they drew 2-2. Don't think that really helps either of them, but it keeps Spurs right up there. They continue to grind out results and ground out points under Thomas Frank, so excellent for them there. Liverpool played Everton in a lunchtime fixture on Saturday with a very good win. TK getting the first for Liverpool in what was, it looked comfortable first half, but Everton definitely did come back in the second half with a Drissagay set up by the impressive Ndiaye to give them an equal, to give them one back, but it was too little too late. There was definitely a bit of controversy at the end. I think Moyes got booked, and also Jack Grealish, who were unhappy about the injury time added in that game. But nevertheless, Liverpool 1-2-1 and continues their excellent home record, and indeed full record this season. In the first game, the first 2 o'clock kickoffs, it was a stalemate between Bournemouth and Newcastle. Sunderland, despite being down to a man down through a sending off, Villa scored, and then an equaliser by Isidore equalised for Sunderland to share the points at the Stadium of Light, in a fantastic performance. I think you'll agree, down to 10 men by Sunderland. Continues their great start to life in the Premiership. Villa continue to struggle, very much like Wolves, very much like West Ham, really struggling to get started this season. Will they turn it around? Let me know in the comments. Manchester City nearly Arsenal to Arsenal. Haaland, a great counter-attacking move and slotted past the keeper, Raya, and then Arsenal left it very, very late, but Martinelli grabbed that equaliser in the dying embers of the game to make it a 1-1 draw. Probably on reflection, I think a point's fair. Pep brought on, I think, every defender he got in the last 20 minutes, but Arsenal were just able to see it through. Couldn't get the win, and neither team could. They did go for it at times. Haaland went one-on-one, but a great save by Raya after being put through. And again, very similar, marauding strong run past the defenders like he does, gallops off, but he couldn't get his second goal. He did get a second shot on target though there. So that rounds up the Premiership fixtures for the weekend. Let's just have a quick look at the table. We've got Liverpool leading the pack, which I don't think is any surprise. They've recruited very well, have started very strongly this season, despite I remember Paul Merson on Soccer Saturday saying that Liverpool weren't playing particularly well, and they need to improve form, otherwise they're going to start dropping points. What do we think? Do you agree? Are Liverpool playing well, or just grinding those results out like true champions do? We then got Arsenal, who, again, good point against Man City, or was it not? What do we think, Arsenal fans? Do we think they should have won? Spurs with a draw, Bournemouth up there and Palace up there. No surprise to see Bournemouth and Palace up there. Chelsea, nearly, they should be there or thereabouts. Only 2 points off second. Very early days yet. Chances for them to vote there. Sunderland doing fantastic. Look at that, 8 points in 7th at this early stage. It's still good. Confidence booster when you're back in that league, for them to be doing so well. Moving towards the bottom of the table, we see Wolves, as we've said, not a point this season, 5 losses, looking real trouble. West Ham, again, struggling, 3 points this season. We'll see what happens with them. And Villa can't score for love nor money, really struggling at the moment, and only got 3 points at the moment. A lot of people saying that Brentford, despite only having 4 points, have been playing pretty well. They came across an excellent Fulham team on Saturday, who just outplayed them off the field. Okay, that concludes the Premiership. Let's have a quick look at the Championship and go through the results over this weekend. So let's scroll right down. And unfortunately, the first game I am going to preview is sadly Sheffield United against Charlton. I actually went to the game in what was showery, horrendous conditions. It rained literally all day, and I'm not talking rain, I'm talking like torrential rain all day. We all got soaked, but that's what football is, isn't it? So Wilder's return wasn't the return of the Messiah that we'd hoped. Unfortunately, it was fortunately if you're a Charlton fan, you had a great day out. A late winner for Charlton, which obviously they went absolutely crazy getting that late goal. But again, continued misery and frustration on the Sheffield United fans and the Blades. Better performance, but still light years behind where we need to be. And our play in the final attacking third was terrible. And in the last 20 minutes, the defence was just ridiculous and crazy. Fantastic result, it pains me to say, for Sheffield Wednesday. Great victory. Portsmouth is a tough place to go, but to go with half a squad gone and your club in turmoil, to produce a 2-0 victory speaks volumes for that team. So credit where it's due. Barry Badham, as much as it pains me to say, a great free kick and a great result. Wrexham Norwich, we had it as both teams to score. Norwich seems Wrexham seems to be a both teams to score guaranteed, doesn't it? It's the Peterborough of old. So both teams score, but a great away victory for Wrexham at Norwich, and similarly a great result for Hull against Southampton. What do we think, Southampton fans? You guys are struggling. Like, we've got you, Sheffield United have got Fulham. Wish we'd got Fulham. I've got Southampton in a few weeks. At the Lane, it's going to be really interesting to see how that. I think it's a Tuesday night. In the next couple of weeks, we play Oxford away. Then I think we've got Southampton at home. That will be a very interesting game for Southampton and Will Still. Good result for Preston North End away. Heckingbottom's doing wonders, isn't he? I said before on the last show that he'd worked wonders, and continues to do the same. Again, great result against Derby, and piles the pressure on John Eustace at Derby. Blackburn Rovers and Ipswich, very strange game. Blackburn went ahead, but I think it was the 70th minute. Referee just started dropping balls and it just would not move. Like, our pitch was sodden. That was the definition of waterlogged. You could not move the ball up or down the pitch, and that game was suspended after 70 minutes. There's an inquiry now to work out whether that gets replayed or whether the result stands due to the amount of time played in the game. Be interesting to see how that one turns out. Queen's Park Rangers beat Stoke City. I think that was one of the shocks of the weekend. Fantastic performance from QPR to beat an informed Stoke City under Mark Robbins. Leicester and Coventry played out a very dull 0-0 draw. I think people were expecting goals. It absolutely didn't deliver. And then we've got Birmingham, who played Swansea and got a fantastic 1-0 result. I think that's really to get their campaign off the ground. Swansea have been in great form, and Birmingham managed to get the result there. And on the Sunday game, I think one of the shocks of the weekend, Oxford absolutely trouncing Bristol City. Again, a good both teams to score bet that one, but yes, surprising that Oxford got the win against Bristol City. So what does that mean for the table? It means that Middlesbrough are starting to pull away, 4 points clear at the top, continue an excellent campaign, 5 wins, 1 draw. You couldn't ask anything more of Rob Edwards on his first season as new manager of Middlesbrough. Nearly a perfect start for him. Stoke, disappointing result at the weekend, and same for Bristol City, both losing, as we've just said. But I think, it's pretty much, you could have written that top 6 really, with the exception of Preston, who I think are the surprise package. But those around, we expected to be around. Maybe not QPR, they've done exceptionally well. And again, going to the bottom of the league, nobody expected Sheffield United to be there. Or maybe they did, but a shocking start. They should be in the top 6, the bottom of the league, 6 defeats in trot. Look beleaguered. There's a lot of work to do, let's just say, to even get them to stay in the lead, first of all, let alone to get anywhere near mid-table, let alone to be in the race for promotion. But we're only 6 games in. It's a long season, lots and lots of games and football to play. Anything could happen. It's the Championship, let's see. Sheffield Wednesday got a much-needed win to make them now competitive and only 1 point out of the relegation zone. Derby lost again. Watford play Millwall in the evening kick-off tonight. Bit of a derby there. Millwall at home. Mixed form, playing against Watford. So that'll be an interesting game. Thinking Millwall for the win there. But we'll see. That concludes the Championship. Just a quick rundown of League One, and we'll go very, very quickly through League One. Good turnaround for Wickham. They were struggling. They've come back now. Stevenage continue their good form. Rotherham continue to struggle. Reading continue to come back. Plymouth losing to Peterborough. Much needed win for Darren Ferguson, but piles more pressure on Tom Cleverley, who's manager at Plymouth. Huddersfield and Burton was a disappointing 0-0 draw. I think everyone had Huddersfield to beat Burton. Good bit of resilience from them, and same from Doncaster. People tipping Doncaster. Great result for Wimbledon, and similar, Bradford have played very well this season and got a fantastic result against Cardiff. How will they play out as they go into the, I think they're playing Newcastle away in the EFL Cup, so it'll be interesting to see how Bradford get on there. As well, considering their excellent form. Lincoln City were beat Luton, so a great result and continues Lincoln's excellent form. Bolton thrashed Wigan 4-1. However, both teams did score. Again, another one we had on the coupon. And Blackpool, surprisingly, but very much needed win for Steve Bruce against Barnsley. That concludes the results for League One. Let's have a look at the table. Bradford continue to be top of the tree with Stevenage second, but Bradford, what a turn for them. They've just got promoted and continue that momentum right into League One. And they're 9 games in already. I can't believe they're 9 games in already to League One. Wow. But look at the form there. Some great form. But look at the form from Cardiff. They were playing so well and got beaten at the weekend. What a surprise there. Lincoln on very good form. Unbeaten in 5 now, in 6 now. So great form from them. Let's go to the bottom of the table and just have a look. You see Port Vale turn it around. Look 4 beats on the bounce now, winning 2 games in a row. Really good form from them. I see Peterborough look like they're turning it around now. Burton, good point for them, but struggling, can't buy a win at the moment at the bottom of the league. But still, not as bad as Sheffield United, unfortunately. Okay, let's move in now to League 2 and pick out some fixtures right down here. Walsall continue their excellent form, 4-2 win, goals galore, wasn't it, in League 2 this week. Salford, again, another pick for us, the both teams to score. We actually did win our both teams to score bet. Let me know about this. I'm thinking of doing a feature of a sort of an ACCA that we're building, and we'll give our recommended ACCA picks for each game week that we've got. So we'll probably do one on Saturday. I've already got it picked, but I'll wait till the weekend to share that both teams to score. It's a bit of a monster. It's an 8-fold, which I don't really like, but there's so many tasty games in League 1 and 2. I think we've gone a bit maxed out. We usually have 1 per league. But we decided we've seen so many good fixtures that look too tasty that we've gone for an 8-fold on Saturday. So do let me know if you're interested in our 8-fold. I'm happy to post it all for free. It's what we give away on this channel. Loads of good alpha. So let me know if you want me to post that, and I'll consider putting that even in the comments, or it'll be a feature of our videos moving forward. Notts County, fantastic win against Crawley. Gillingham continue their fantastic form with a 3-1 win against Newport. However, they were a goal down, so great comeback from Gillingham for Gareth Ainsworth's squad, and a very good result. MK Dons, surprisingly losing, they're really struggling at the moment. They were tipped to go up, having spent quite a lot, but struggling now. Gone through a bit of a deep on form. Bristol Rovers and Colchester drew. Oldham, great victory away at Cheltenham. Cheltenham really struggling. I think their boss got fired after making some rather strange comments in the media about his squad. Ultimately, that led to his downfall and his dismissal. I probably got dismissed before he got interviewed by the sounds of his interview. Bromley and Chesterfield, again, good golf teams to score bet. Didn't have that one. But Bromley did draw with Chesterfield 2-2. Barrow beating Crewe. They've gone off the boil. They started so well at the start of the season, but seem to have tapered off now. Barnet, a fantastic home victory against Grimsby. Harrogate, who are on very good form, beating Shrewsbury. And to top it off, Cambridge beating Fulham. Fleetwood 2-1. Why do I keep saying Fulham? I've got Fulham on the brain. Okay then. We've got Gillingham, who have beaten and gone top. Now, they've actually been quite consistently top. They've not just gone top. They've been top for a while. Great form, that, isn't it? 9 games played, 6 wins, 3 draws, 21 points. Form recently, only drawn 1 in the last 6. That's fantastic form, isn't it? Definitely looking like to be the banker bet. But against Newport, you'd have expected them. Newport pretty far down the league, in a bit of trouble at the moment. I was surprised they took the lead, actually. But again, great resilience from Gillingham to come back. Salford right up there. They always the nearly men. Is this going to be their season that Neville and the class is it 97 or 98? They go through. Most of the treble winners from Man United, that golden age, have all bought into Salford, and it's been a story, hasn't it? And finally, they under I think it's Carl Robinson, they might be able to get promoted. Walsall were very close to getting promoted last season, so no surprise to see them up there. Swindon doing very well, although in the last game they lost, but they've been on a 4-game winning streak before then. Grimsby and Chesterfield up there with Notts County. Let's go to the bottom. We've got Cheltenham pretty much rooted and struggling. So are Shrewsbury and so are Newport. I think those 3 teams are going to be ones fighting it out this season, although Crawley and Colchester may get dragged into it. I think the rest, well, we'll see. It's a long season, isn't it? Early days, but that looks like to be showing a pattern emerging. And I know it's all a point, but there's clearly levels here, isn't there, that you can start to see emerging. Okay, that concludes Saturday's fixtures and a rundown of where we are in the leagues, right up and down the country, from the Premier League right down to League 2. So let's move on and preview some of the games we've got in the Cup that's happening this week. So, tomorrow's games, we've got Barnsley and Brighton. At Barnsley, we've got Burnley against Cardiff, Fulham against Cambridge United, Lincoln taking on Chelsea, Wigan against Wickham, Wolves against Everton, Wrexham against Reading, and the premium fixture of the night, Liverpool against Southampton. However, having considered and seen Southampton's form, you can always see Liverpool. I think Liverpool will rest a lot of players. I think you'll see their second string team, but I still think that team will be very strong, as Arne Slot wants to challenge and compete on all levels. So, some picks that I've made out. I'll go with my little picks for tomorrow for the bets. I've gone with Barnsley and Brighton, actually, both teams to score. Burnley to beat Cardiff. Wigan and Wickham to both score. Wolves and Everton to both score. Wrexham to beat Reading, and I've also thrown Real Madrid into the mix just to bulk it up a little bit as Real Madrid play tomorrow night away, as well. I've not touched any of the other games. Right, let's preview Wednesday's game. So on Wednesday we've got Huddersfield taking on Man City. What a fantastic game for Huddersfield at home. We've got Newcastle taking on Bradford City. We've got Tottenham taking on Doncaster and Port Vale taking on Arsenal. Now, they're all straightforward and the odds are absolutely terrible. So I wouldn't bet on any of those, to be honest. If anything, I fancy some of those. I want to see the lineups, but I think there'll be some good both teams to score value in some of those games. But until you see the fixtures, you've got to fancy the home teams, haven't you, like Huddersfield and Port Vale, to potentially score. And the value would be on both teams to score and a win for Man City or Arsenal. I can't see them getting knocked out at this stage, but I can see them giving a tricky night away from home. Those at home, but Doncaster played excellently against Middlesbrough, so you just never know. And Bradford are on fantastic form, so if they don't play a strong team and Bradford turn up, it could be an interesting night. That's all I'm going to say. It's very difficult to call those games. But, some great fixtures there. And it's fantastic to see some of the smaller clubs taking on some of the giants, isn't it? So good luck to all the teams. And let's hope we see some great matches and some giant killing fixtures. Because it's always nice to see. That's the beauty of the cup, isn't it? All right, we're going to quickly move on for the next couple of days. So Wednesday and Thursday, we've got games in the Europa League. I'm just going to flash those up on screen and highlight probably the premium one, which is Nice against Roma, Betis against Forest, and Braga against Feyenoord. Really, really great games. And Red Star Belgrade playing Celtic. So again, I think there's value in both teams to score bets. I've had Roma and Nice, Betis and Forest. Belgrade and Celtic and Braga and Feyenoord both did score. I think I might have had Zagreb and Fenerbahce as well. No, I had Freiburg and Basel, both teams to score. I didn't touch the Fenerbahce big because I hate betting on Turkish teams. They always seem to let me down, so I don't tend to touch those. So a little fivefold, both teams to score there. I think 2, 4, 5. Yep, little fivefold there for Wednesday. And then on Thursday, again, I've gone with a bit of a mixed acca. Picking it out, I've got Villa to end the curse. They've got a good record against Bologna, so I've had Villa to actually win. Fresh Friars and Plitzen both to score. Rangers and Genk both to score, considering their fitness. I've actually, and the way Rangers are playing at the moment. Salzburg and Porto. I was going to go Porto win because the odds are amazing, but it just looked dodgy away from home. So I've had draw or win for Porto. Great team. Both teams to score in Stuttgart against Celta Vigo. I'm not touched Utrecht against Olympic Lyon, but if I had to choose, I'd pick Lyon. And then I've got both teams to score in Young Boys and Panathinaikos. So they're my bets for that I've had on for this week. I always have a little dabble. I've been doing pretty well with the both teams to score, so I've built up quite a bit of positivity. So yeah, I tend to fancy my both teams to score bet at the moment. So that's a complete preview of the games this week and a review of the games that happened over the weekend and what will be coming up this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've got a lot of value out of that. Drop me some things in the comments, Joe. Do you like me going into this in-depth detail and reviewing everything that's happening across football? Also, how do you like the sort of bets and suggested bets from us that we'll be placing? Are you interested? Do you think you've got a better acca that you can name? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to know what you think, what your take is on any of the content that we discussed today, and also what your take is on our betting strategy. Do you like both teams to score? Do you think win accas are better? Do you think value accas are better? So let me know in the comments. Right, we'll quickly move over to what has been a bloodbath today in the crypto market. Hang tight. Okay, welcome to the crypto part of our section in today's show. Well, what can I say? Friday it started crumbling a little bit. Over the weekend it was pretty neutral, but oh my goodness, this morning, what a horrible sight to wake up to and just see liquidations left, right and centre. Those guys that were longing everything just got absolutely smashed and laid out. We lost nearly $1 billion, nearly $4 billion off the market cap. Absolutely crazy. 4% off the market cap getting hit down. You can see that horrible red bar going all the way down. However, sometimes when there's blood in the streets, it's the right time to buy. I must admit, I went in and bought the dip this morning. Gambled a little bit, but I've not gone crazy. But when these opportunities buy in a bull market, you have to go in. So went and bought a few selected tokens that are on my list this morning, and if it dips again, I'll be buying more over the course of September. Now, if this was October, I'd be in a different situation. I'd be a lot more nervous. But September is traditionally red. These dips do happen, and I think there was so much sort of, I guess, anticipation coming into the FOMC meeting that I think once that hit, and I said to everybody that we priced in 25. If it was 50, it'd explode. If it's 20, we didn't get a rate cut, we'd see probably a start of a bear market, to be honest. And we'd see big 30-40% drops. Really, it would have been an absolute horrendous. We would have definitely been in extreme fear without a doubt. I think the market responded originally positively, and then it's like, oh yeah, we expected this. So then everybody sold off, and we had a lot of whales dumping. We had Binance dumping, and it's just caused all those long positions to get wiped out. But saying that, let's not get too downhearted, because actually, when things do drop, you have these flush outs in bull markets, and also it's September. We know it's traditionally bad, so this is nothing that I don't think we weren't expecting. It's just taking these opportunities and taking those moments and making sure that you buy at the right time. So anyway, let's have a look down here, and let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got Bitcoin just struggling now. It did drop down to 111k. We're now rescuing back up to 113. So let's see how that goes. That's a key, I think 110 is a key level. If it drops below 110, I think 100 is the next level of support. So really need to keep an eye on that. Same with ETH, keeping above 4k, super important at this stage. We have had a decent recovery. XRP recovering a little bit, but under $3, always a little bit risky. Sol's come back. It went to a pump to I think about $240, something like that, nearly at all time. Doing really strong towards all time high, but it's pulled back, which it will. Everything pulls back when Bitcoin pulls back, right? Doge was doing really well, but look at that massive drop down in the last 7 days. Could that be a buy opportunity considering all the ETF talk recently? Cardano struggled, got up to 90 cents, but it's gone since retraced back down. Chainlink, very popular one this cycle that a lot of people have been tipping. Maybe not to do so well because of the size of its market cap, but definitely taking a bit of a pullback. So is that a buy opportunity again? AVAX, which is done very well. It's held up very well, only 4% down, and it's recovering very quickly. Again, that's been a very, very strong bullish performer recently. Hype down to $49. That could be, that's nearly 10% down from all-time highs. Very popular at the moment, and this cycle Hype. Is that a buy or dip opportunity? I'll let you decide. Again, Sui talked up, went down to I think 3.35 or 3.33 cents, $3.33, but since recovered and retraced back to 3.37. Again, Sui, very popular one. Stellar performing well, linked very much like with XRP, but recovered pretty well, nearly 1% up in the last hour. So starting that recovery there. Let's have a look at anything else that jumps out to us. Polkadot continues to just struggle. So Liberty Finance had a real pullback. It went up to 24 cents at one bit, and I'm thinking, whoa, we're starting, here we go. But no, pullback 12% in the last 24 hours. Again, though it stayed above 20 cents, so that's a key level for me. If it drops below 20, might be time to worry, but as long as it stays above there, we could be back on. Story's been a big performer. We've reported on that, I think, since it was at $8. Even with all this massive pullback, it's still at 13%. It's gone up 5% in the last 24 hours. It's showing such strength. And same with meme core. We've talked about that as well. So Story and meme core have really been the top performers in the last week or so. I know it's only been 2.2%, but when you think of the volatility to hold strong in this market, that's really strong. Arve was performing really well. Looks like it's really on its downfall. Maybe that's associated with Ethereum though, because it is on that platform. So let's see what happens with Arve. Lot tip that to do well, or continue the DeFi protocols to do well. So it's be interesting to see what happened there. Pepe meme coin, it's down 10%, and look, that's Athena's down 20%. So for a meme coin, it's pretty solid. They normally tank massively, so not done bad. One thing that people are talking, there's been some really positive talk about Aptos and that hitting key areas and seeing that it's ready to bounce back. People are targeting between $8 to $12 for that one, so that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Ondo is one that I really like. It's a real world asset. Very great tokenomics, great project as well. But struggling in this market. It showed so much potential. It went up to, I think, $1.10, dropped back down to 93. So that was one of my buys today on Ondo, just to stock up a little bit more under $1. I think it's cheap at that price. I'm hoping it gets to at least $3 this cycle when we start to kick on. I think real world assets might be one of the players, but again, no real asset class has shown its hand this market, so it's really difficult to predict. Let's just scroll. WorldCoin's taken a bit of a beating, but it was up massively recently. So WorldCoin's one to watch and keep an eye on. That seemed to have got a lot of institutional interest and big players and they say crypto influencers. Asta's been an interesting one, really rocketed up, and then it's come back down in the last 20% pullback. But if you look at that chart, it's showing it only way up. That could be again by the dip. A lot of people in Asia are saying that's the hyperliquid for that market, so that might be one to keep an eye on and watch. Asta is the ticker for it. What else have we got? Pump.fun, struggling, gone down 28%. It was smashing up really high though, so quite a healthy pullback. Is that a buy the dip opportunity? Let's go down. Fast token doing well. Penguins down 10%. Pretty standard with all in line with everything else. What else we got? Anything else interesting? It's 7 to 10%. Bonk down 10%, in line with all other memes. Trump down. I was going to say a meme coin. It's not. It's a Polyfi. It's a Pol coin, isn't it? But down quite a bit. It's down to 7.64. So that's quite a big drop. So if Trump comes out and says something, is it worth having that on a buy the dip and maybe cash out at like $10 and make a little bit of profit on that one? Worth thinking about. Another one that's done really well is Immutable X, up 12% over the last week, taking a little 10% pullback in the last 24 hours with everything else, but that was really starting to gather momentum. Again, is GameFi going to be the next one in the top 100? That's a quick rundown of the top 100. It's pretty consistent, isn't it? If Bitcoin drops, everything else drops and it's amplified, but not been a great day. Let's see how the rest of the week plays out in terms of those prices. So let's just have a quick look on the hourly of the bubbles. Asta's down the biggest, but higher you go, the larger there is to fall, and it's falling a little bit. We can see minor action. World Liberty Finance down 2.9% in the last hour. In the day, you can see quite big drops for some of them, but they were really, like Asta and World Liberty Finance had gone up a lot over the weekend. So no surprise to see those guys drop quite a bit when we have a big sell-off because of the long liquidations. Fear and Greed, no surprise to see it being 45 considering what happened over the course of the weekend and this morning. So 45 I think is pretty good. If we get any more tailbacks, I think we'll drop down to thing, but I'm hoping that's it. I'm hoping we see a positive retracement. We have done. It stayed above 111 for Bitcoin. That's pretty positive. If you can get up to 113 by the close of today, be interesting to see where he got. Are we going to get some more dumps? I mean, Monday seems to be the dump day, and then Saylor comes in, buys some more Bitcoin. I think he bought 850 Bitcoin today. Let's see. It's an interesting week. September. It's the last week of September. Last full trading week of September, and then we've got a short week next week, and then we're into October. So let's see what happens. Anything can happen, as they say in September and in a bear market. So don't panic too much. It's September. We know this is going to happen. Let's see how this last week winds out. Don't start selling your positions yet. I don't think it's time to start bracing yourself for a bear market just yet. We've got Q4 to come, and that's always exciting. So just hang on. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, alt season. Is it alt season? And I said last week it was, because technically it wasn't. Look at that. We bounced up to 100. 100, right? Where's that come from? Like, boom, out of nowhere, then back down. That doesn't feel like a traditional alt season, but as we saw it there, it just titched it for a couple of days and went down. Is that alt season gone? Surely it can't be. I don't believe it is. I think that was just a little teaser of what's to come. And I personally think alt season is around the corner and in Q4. Maybe not October. I think October will be Bitcoin's month to the daddy to come home. I think Bitcoin will come back home and all other coins will proceed to follow, but not outpace Bitcoin. And I think after October into November and December, we'll see that final blow off top for Bitcoin, and then I think it will all come flowing back down into the alts, and we'll see a proper alt season right up until the end of the year. And then 2026, who knows? I think we'll get another rate cut as well, maybe F2 if we're lucky, and I think that will spark everything off. But let's just see. The next week might be a little bit painful, might be a bit, might need to strap in a little bit. But I think the week after, as we get into October, I think we're going to see a bit more fun and a bit more green weeks and a green month. So don't get too down. We'll keep an eye on it. We've got you here. We'll keep going through everything. We'll go through the price movements. We'll go through those bubbles. We'll check fear and greed, and we'll check the altcoin season, so you have a rounder picture of what's going on at the time of shooting, and we'll continue to keep you updated on the market. I think this week might not show too much on the football. We might keep it brief. I think our big focus is going to be on crypto as we build into that exciting Q4 period. Okay, that's the end of the video. Hope you got all out of this. Just remember, our content is for education and entertainment purposes only. We don't offer financial advice, nor do we offer any financial support at all. It's just my personal opinions on where we're going with the market, and also what's happening around football and where I might be stupid enough to put my money. If you want to follow me, that's awesome, and I hope you win with me. But if not, that's cool. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think alt season's going? Do you think Q4 is going to be bullish? Do you think we'll get more rate cuts? How's fear and greed going to go in the next week? Do you think we're going to see more downturn this week? Or are we actually, is that it? Is that the chop? Is 10% the worst it's going to get? And are we going to start to see some real movement in the next few days? Let me know what you think. Really curious. Really want to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a like, please. The more you like us, the better it makes us feel. And if you want to get more of this content, then you might want to consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. It helps us reach more people. And if you want to get notified every time we release a new video, just click that little bell button and you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Okay, that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for taking it this far, and I'll see you very soon.